It's like 3, 2, 1 countdown, waiting for that thing to say, "You are live."
I know, right?
Like a rocket ship waiting to take off. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. It is
Hey there.
Winning Wednesday, and we are so excited to be with you here today. It's Sonia and Jeannie,
Yep.
and
Hello there.
we are live all over the place.
Yeah.
So we would love to know as you're jumping on where you're tuning in from. And if you are new to watching video on StreamYard, please grant StreamYard access to show us who you are. And no, they're not going to do anything. It just means that we no longer see Facebook user, we see Betty Smith is here. So that's the whole reason for it. So if you're new to StreamYard, go ahead, just click the link above this video and it will allow you to grant StreamYard permission. Jeannie, do you want to share this over to our team chat when you get a
Yes.
chance?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Awesome. So we're going to kick this off. I'm so excited because this is a topic that both Jeannie and I have talked about like crazy, especially, over the last couple of years with what's going on in the world and in, just life in general. And whether you're an entrepreneur or just someone trying to make it in life, I think it's such a relevant topic. And so, really, what we want to focus on today, and we're going to get into some really good stuff that has impacted not only myself, but Jeannie, and has really helped us change our mindset. And so, we're going to talk about different tips on how to remove any roadblocks you have in your mindset, whether that's related to your business or your life. So, if we're meeting for the first time, I'm Sonia, and my sidekick here, Jeannie. And we are just two very passionate entrepreneurs that are here to just spread positivity and help you grow in life. And so, if you take one thing away from this video, we hope it's something that you can apply to the world that you're living in. All right, so let's dive right in. And so we were thinking about this, and this is a really big topic. And so this topic will probably evolve into more topics. But it's this topic of mindset and what does that really mean? And it starts with, you know, anything you do in life, any goal you're looking to achieve, whether that's a physical goal, maybe you're looking to lose weight, maybe you want to launch a business, maybe you want to run a marathon. I mean, whatever that is, it doesn't matter what your plan looks like. I mean, it could be the best plan. You could have the best coach, you could have everything. But if it's not right up here, it doesn't matter. And so, what we want to really kind of go over are some things that have helped us. Jeannie, I would love to know from you. I know that you have a really structured life because of your crazy, being a mama, working a full time job, juggling a business, like all the things. I don't know how you do it, but I know you have some really great things that you do every single day. Let's kind of talk about how you get your brain organized in the morning, what it is that you do to kind of get the day moving in the right direction. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. You're muted, hun.
It is so crazy when you have so many different things on your plate and you've got to get your kids to school, you have a full-time job, you just have family responsibilities, right? And so it's just really what I realize it's about organizing your life, but also making sure that you have to like time block. And I time block pretty much everything, including mindset stuff. I know how long it's going to take me to work my mindset, routine into my day, and I block that time off. Even if you have to wake up earlier than everyone else in the house, that's how important it is to get your mindset straight. If you're hopping out of bed and you're just going to brush your teeth and you get dressed, you miss the whole point of it. And you're going through the day over and over again without any progress. So what I do is first thing when I open my eyes in the morning, I just say, I am so grateful to have another day. Just immediately. That's the first thing because I believe in putting one positive thing into my brain the minute my eyes open. And then from there, I get up, I brush my teeth, get dressed, and then I go right into doing either meditation or I do hypnosis. I found hypnosis actually to get me through some very, very difficult times in my life. It was actually the only thing that helped. I've been through therapy. I've been through going to other, professionals to seek help. And I found hypnosis to be just mind blowing.
Mm.
So I do hypnosis, and generally they recommend 3 weeks, 21 days of hypnosis in order for your brain to start to change the way it thinks. So I'll do hypnosis on specific topics for 3 weeks at a time, and then I'll go back to doing meditation. Now, with meditation, you don't have to do it for 15, 20 minutes. It's not like this, oh my gosh, I have to sit still and do this, a whole no, no, no. You can get something from an app. You can do like one of those meditations that walk you through it. YouTube has meditational things. You can do it for just 5 minutes a day and build up from there. It really is up to you, but it's just sitting still with yourself and breathing. Just within yourself. Just have some thoughts that you can actually reflect on things and just sit down and breathe. And you will start to go even deeper into like this deep state to where everything around you has no existence at the moment, if that makes sense. So meditation is so important. Um,
Let me stop you there for a second
yeah,
because I know that a lot of times when I talk to people, they're like, my brain just doesn't stop. And
yeah,
how on earth you get into that meditative state? And so, I mean, the way I was always trained in this sort of healing process is it doesn't mean that if you're not shutting off the world, like it's not working, right?
yeah.
You're trying to silence the noise. And if
Mhm.
if there's too much chatter, you're doing things to kind of refocus on your breath and pulling yourself back into that safe space,
Yeah.
right? So there's this, I think, perception that it has to be all or nothing or it doesn't work, right? So I just wanted to insert that because I think that's a really important point for people that are listening.
And meditation is not just sitting still and being quiet. You can go for a walk and have a meditational walk because you're connecting with nature and with the things around you. So it really is being present and knowing what you're thinking about. It could be mindful meditation where there, and by the way, there's all types of meditations out there. You just have to find the one that works for you. Because I agree, I had a tough time sitting still. That was very, very difficult for me when I first started. But that's why I say start at a few minutes at a time. And you'll find that coming out of the meditation that you just, I don't know, you just feel so much better. You feel so refreshed, focused for the day, more of a positive energy. You're able to manage things throughout your day even better, but you have to do it consistently. That's the second thing. So again, I tell myself, how grateful I am for another day. I get up and then I do my meditation or hypnosis. Then I do journaling. I think journaling is really important. It's a great place to put out your thoughts and your emotions without anyone judging you or saying anything. And it's just that connection of pen to paper that you get it out of here onto the sheet of paper and it's out of your brain. You've released it. That's the way I look at it. And then the last thing I do is actually a couple of more things. I do my vision board, and then I do my affirmations, and they're written down, and it's on a notes. So in notes on your phone, just jot down like 10 to 20 affirmations, have them written down, and I read through them every day. And then I do my vision board. But one more thing, I actually just created a movie, a vision movie. It's on iMovie on my phone. And I just added like a bunch of photos that inspire me and things that I want to accomplish in my life, personal and business. And I added my favorite song to it. So like for 5 minutes, I have this iMovie playing. And I found that that pulls out more emotion because of the music versus just looking at a vision board.
Mm, I
Yeah.
love that. That's one that I have not tried. And I know that we both refer to a book, and if you guys are watching, this will be
Yeah.
really helpful, called Miracle Morning. Jeannie has the hard copy right there. I have it on my phone. I've also got a hard copy floating around somewhere, but
Yeah.
it really just helps you to, because if you think about it this way, we're not doing anything. And I see a couple of comments here, that it's hard to silence your mind. And it is at first
Yeah.
because we're conditioned to just do go, 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 go until we drop into the bed at night and then wake up and do it all again the next day. Well, it's been shown over and over and over again, whether you're an entrepreneur, an employee, it doesn't matter, stay-at-home mom, if you are not taking time to address your mind, all that stuff really doesn't matter. You're just going through the motions. And pretty soon, fast forward through life, and you develop, health problems and, things that can result because your body is under constant stress from always being in that sort of fight or flight place. And so working on your mindset and sort of grounding your body and getting into a calmer state just helps you to handle the rest of the day. Because the minute you walk out that door, if you're, going to an office, or the minute you turn on your computer, if you're self-employed or work from home, you don't know what's coming at you for the day, right? But if you've got, like, as a mentor always told me, you got to put on your armor for the day. And that armor will protect you from the rapid fire of, pardon my French, shit that can sometimes fly into our face. And especially, we're both here. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Jeannie's working toward that. Mm-hmm. But when you are in this space, particularly, you need a lot of armor on certain days. And, you're told no a lot, and you're, constantly feeling like you're not good enough, or what did I do wrong? And there's a lot of self-blame and a lot of self-limiting beliefs that develop. Mm-hmm. And so getting your mindset right, getting that mindset into a winning place, all these things that Jeannie just talked about, and I'll add a couple things that I do as well, will also help you to get that armor secured around your body for the day so that you can become more resilient in whatever flies your way. So just a couple things that I do a lot of the things that Jeannie mentioned as well, not necessarily in the same order, and that's okay. There's no like particular order. She works a full-time job. I do not. So I have the fortune, I'm fortunate to not have to set an alarm clock when I get up in the morning. So that's step number one for me. I let my body rest until it's ready to wake up. I have Epstein-Barr, so I tend to require a lot more sleep than most people. Most people can get away with, 6, 7, maybe 8 hours of sleep. I'm that girl that needs 10. So I have to be really mindful that my day is scheduled. Even though I am an entrepreneur, I try to schedule all the important things so that I'm not getting into that stressful place of, I wasted a day. So the things that I also do in the morning, I do some type of movement. I have a rebounder trampoline downstairs that basically gets the lymph flowing, gets your blood circulating. Whenever I'm on that thing, and I face it out so I can look out my window downstairs, and I find myself, and this is after I've done meditation and all of that, I find myself like gazing out into the horizon and thinking about, some of the things that I really want for my life, or things that are my biggest goals, or things that I really need to work on. It's kind of my time to wake up from that meditative state into, all right, let's start into production. So movement is really key. Yeah. And then once I've gotten those wheels turning, that's when I get off the trampoline in the morning, or whatever I'm doing. The trampoline is easy, low impact. So first thing in the morning, it's really good. I get off and I journal what those thoughts were when I was on the rebounder. And nice. Then I also journal. I have a gratitude journal that I, use every day. And it's basically, I am happy and grateful because if you're not happy and grateful for the moment that, like, I'm very grateful to be sitting here on this computer. It doesn't matter to me if there's one person watching or 50,000. I'm grateful to be in this moment with Jeannie, sharing this information with you, because if we can just help one person, that makes it worth it.
It's totally worth it.
Yeah. So, once you do the journaling and you move your body and you get that armor on for the day, then you feel a little bit more prepared, right? You feel like you are in the right space. But here's what I found that happens, and this is just nature to me as an entrepreneur, and I'd like to hear your thoughts too, Jeannie. So the day goes on, the shit's flying at you, right? Whatever that is. Sometimes we have to pause and like readjust the armor, right? So all that stuff we did to prepare, like when stuff is flying at you and the day is maybe not going your way, what do you do to kind of readjust your head so it doesn't end up ruining your day?
Oh, yes. It happens a lot. You're on social media, you're just fired up, ready to tackle the day, and something happens, and then your negative thoughts start coming in. Now you're just going downhill mentally, right? And maybe emotionally too. The minute I start feeling that, I disconnect. Immediately, I'm off social media. I've got to get up and I've got to do something else, something that makes me happy. So if it's summertime, like spring, summer, I go into my garden, and I'm fortunate enough to work from home. So I do have that, flexibility to where I can get up and take breaks anytime. So I go to my garden, and that is like my just like a little sanctuary for me. And I just look, and I take care of, I may harvest vegetables, or I may do so, but whatever. I'll go into my garden. It brings me peace. Or I'll get up and I'll go for another walk. I walk at least once a day outside of my workouts, but maybe more, because for me, it is kind of meditational, that repetitiveness of walking. So I'll just walk out the door and just go take a walk sometimes. Maybe it's getting on the phone and talking to my sister who I haven't spoken to in a while, or, talking to a friend. So it's just doing something that brings me joy, so that it reminds me of why I'm here, what's my purpose, and that, the day isn't perfect and things happen, and I just need to get over it. And what I discovered is the more you work on mindset, the quicker you get over the things that happen to you. And I learned that last week. I went through something, and the next day I realized that I wasn't stressing over that situation for a day or two, that it only stressed me out for a few minutes, and then I was able to overcome it and move on. Like, how
Yeah,
amazing is
you can shorten those fight or flight
that?
situations,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's realizing, and I know we were talking about this yesterday, like you can do all the perfect things in the morning, but like
Mhm.
if there are things that happen throughout the day, you got to be able to take the car and steer it in a different direction and
Yeah,
then
that's
get back
true.
on the track, right? So you might take a
Yeah.
detour for a few minutes and then back on the track. So that's super, super powerful. And I know that as an entrepreneur, so, a lot of people have been employees their whole life. And when
Mhm.
you get into this space as an entrepreneur, which I am a full-time entrepreneur, I've been doing this for 15 years. It'll be 15 in April. And I have, I started in the traditional network marketing business, moved into the world of social retail 2 years ago. And I will tell you that, people think that if you've been doing this entrepreneurial home-based business for a very long time, that you have all your stuff together and that you're like, you can conquer the world, right? You're the person that gets on the stage. Like I've been on stage multiple times. I have done webinars and trainings and all the stuff.
Mhm.
And so people think that when you kind of get to that level, that you got it all together. And I'm here to tell you that the noise never stops. As a mentor always said to me in my early stages of network marketing, there's the physical, changes that happen in you, the emotional changes, the changes in your rank, the changes in your income, the changes in all of these things. And with every single one of them, it doesn't get easier. As they say, new level, new devil. And
Mm.
so regardless of where you are on the journey, you need to take all of these things that we're talking about to heart, because when you get in a stuck place, wherever that is, and I've been stuck more times. 2 years ago, when I pivoted into my current social retail company, I was stuck. I was stuck in the mud. My income had gone sideways. I mean, and that's a whole other conversation. But I realized that I was in a stuck place. And the only way to get unstuck, guess what the first thing is? You got to clear the mindset. You got to go back to the basics of, you know, instead of, and I think what happens before I talk about that is what happens is we get into this place of we focus on this poor me, why did this happen? And we start getting pulled in that negative direction. But the only way to climb out of being stuck in the mud is to address the issue. Yes, acknowledge what happened, right? You can't recover from something unless you acknowledge it. But then you go back to exactly what Jeannie said, those foundational things of journaling. What do I want? So I knew I needed a change. What did I want to change it to? What were the things I was looking for? So the journaling, I'm happy and grateful that this moment today, I have the opportunity to choose a different path or a different company or a different mentor, whatever. And so wherever you are in life, you need to pause whenever you hit that, when your tires get stuck, you need to pause and go back to the basics. And so I think it's really relevant when it relates to business. And I know, Jeannie, for you, like,
Yeah.
you're newer in this entrepreneurial space, but you've had to push away a lot of limiting beliefs. Talk to us about that a little bit.
Oh gosh. Yeah. So, I will say that there were times that, I think as an entrepreneur, you think a lot of things are your fault, and that somebody doesn't like you or they're ghosting you because you did something to them. And we're not thinking like a normal person, like they could be just ghosting you because they're busy, like that's normal. People are not on their messenger all the time like we are, And so what I had to do is I have to say that hypnosis really helped me with the limiting beliefs.
Mm.
It really does change the way you think at a very, very deep level. And you have to go back to when those limiting beliefs started, which is usually in childhood. And as you go back to kind of pinpoint when that happened, you can then start to release that. And so it's really deep work at a fast pace because it's hypnosis. So that's what I loved about it, and that's what I've done to work through it actually.
And I think and I've watched you change your mindset to why is this happening? Or I can't do this. Or, it's, in other words, life is happening against you, to just changing the conversation around it. And this is really key to know you're on the right track in business, in mastering the mindset work. When you're able to flip the switch, instead of saying, why is it happening to me? It's, how can I do that better? How can I change that so that it heads, that same situation heads in a positive direction? So I had lost the majority of my income. Instead of saying, oh my gosh, like the walls are crashing down, I'm going to like be bankrupt, like all this stuff, right? I could have gotten the noise in my head, but I immediately put on my body armor and I said, all right, how do I change this today?
Yeah, and
What direction do
one
I need
thing,
to go? Right.
right. And I mean, one thing that I started saying to myself, and I still say it, is when I see things happening, I don't say, why is it happening to me? I say it's happening for me
Mm.
for a reason. They're all lessons. They're all lessons, and we're meant to learn from them. And if you see them happening over and over again, it's because you haven't learned the lesson.
Mm.
So, if I'm having issues with a specific thing in my business, then I need to face it and I need to change what I'm doing. Like you said, change what I'm doing in order to see different results. Because again, then I'm not really growing and I haven't learned my lesson.
So true. And that's where mentoring can come in, right? Coaching,
Mhm.
mentoring, aligning with somebody in business that has gone just a little bit further than you have, so that you have somebody lighting that path for you. And when things get a little rocky in your world, you can be like, all right, here's where I'm at, right? So sometimes having that arm to reach down to you and pull you up is the first step, because
Yeah.
you don't, when you're newer in business, you don't really know what to think a lot of times. So you quit thinking it's your fault.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, as I always tell people that I coach, there is a fine line between absolute failure and rocket ship success. And all of that lies within here first, in your mindset, but also then, of course, consistency, tenacity, keeping the body armor on, and being able to be resilient when things happen, to have a lot of desire to keep your mindset where it needs to be.
Mhm.
And so these are all really great conversations that we'll have. The last thing I wanted to say, and then we'll kind of close things up. Sometimes things get really crazy in life, right? We have families, we have jobs, we have businesses, we have church, we have like all these things, right? And some people have other or more things than others. One of the things that's always helped me to stay grounded, and I learned this from a mentor in my very early days in network marketing, is to take your entire life and look at it like a pie. And
Mhm.
every part of your life has a separate slice of pie. So if things are going really, sideways in one area, you focus on what's going well in the other areas. And a lot of times, so we're taught and conditioned to work on what our shortcomings are, right? The things
Mhm.
we're not good at. But the reverse is true. If you focus on building your strengths,
Mm.
all of that stuff that you've maybe not been good at or in your mind you haven't been good at starts to naturally come up along with it. So
Mm.
when things are going crazy, focus on each slice of the pie, focus on the ones that are really going well, and
Mhm.
how can I do more with that? And I promise you, it will kind of all even out over time rather than going sideways and,
Mhm.
oh, my business isn't going well, so I'm going to just shut the door on that, right? So it's all about balance and keeping your head in the game for the long term, because when you do that,
Mm.
these little things that you encounter on a daily basis, you're able to release them like that. So I
Mhm.
just wanted to wrap up with that. Any final thoughts, Jeannie, on things that we missed perhaps?
I really love what you just said. I never looked at it like that. I do look at it as more like everything is interconnected. And but I love the way you kind of broke that down. So that's a great way to end it, really. I think that at the end of the day, you have to look at it as you're going to want to quit sometimes in your business, but you have to think of what is your why and why did you even start this business to begin with? What do you want out of it? And you have to have that picture so clear in your mind that whatever happens in your business, you're not willing to give up.
Mm, that's the money right there. And it can't just be my why is I want to make $1,000 a month. Well, okay, that's nice. But what will that $1,000 a month do for your life? And I mean, you can apply that same thing to, want to lose 20 pounds. Okay, great goal. But what will that do? How will your life be impacted when you do lose the 20 pounds, right? So
Mhm.
it's getting you to kind of go deeper within, because when you do go deeper within and you have some really strong, compelling, as we call them, whys, you can push beyond all of these things that are holding you back, and getting your mindset in the right place will be a lot easier. I mean, that I can say with absolute certainty after nearly 15 years of doing this. So I'm super excited. I hope you guys got value from this. And if you did, we'll be back at you live next Wednesday. And we would love to hear from you. The topic of this show is called Winning Wednesday. And so we really just want to help you win in life, whether you're in business full time or you have the desire to go that direction, or maybe you need to win with your health. We want to bring you all kinds of topics that will help you win in this very negative world we're all living in at the moment. So
Yes.
thank you guys for being with us today. We'll see you next Wednesday and take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.